Hello guys, we have a really fun hero with an amazing set of skills. There's pretty much everything here you could ask for. There's AoE slow plus damage plus reduced attack speed. There's armor that you can give to any of your allies. It also slows enemy heroes that are near, also deals damage. There's like a hypnotize spell that kind of pulls any enemy that you cast it on. And there's the infamous ult that can pretty much do infinite bounces once you get this. If not, there's still 10 of them. A very known and feared spell ever since Dota 1 days, right? If you see Lich getting in the fight, you kind of immediately spread, you scare, push yourself out with 4 staff, because once you see this going, you gotta move, you gotta run from it, right? Now there's a couple of locations right on the map where it could be bad to cast this. You know, same with Juggernaut's ult. If you're kind of near the neutral camps, you can easily bounce to them. It's completely RNG, so however the game decides to reward you or punish you, that's how it might turn out with this. So as always, best cast when it's kind of like condensed space, and there's a bunch of enemy heroes you can kind of control. Your team can control. That's when this gets the most value, right? So couple of items that kind of complement all of that, including 4 staff of course, but start with boots. So once you burn through all of consumables and stuff, right, if you got any null talismans or wands, whatever it is, once you get your boots, you can slowly go towards the Netherlands. You can use the old trick always, as usual, just get the energy booster, get the arcane boots for the time being, you know, get the increased mana pool. You can spam refresh mana for you, for any allies around you, then get the void stone, second part for this, and the recipe, and you just kind of disassemble this, unlock the energy booster, and it nicely combines into Netherlands, right? So actually you can't see the parts, but yeah, that's how you make it. So now with boots, if you just want to finish something like tranquil boots, which I almost always do, because you know you're kind of covered with mana here, why not do something for health? It's really cheap. You just get two cheap pieces, the ring and the lace. You finish this and you're kind of set to just roam around with Lich and do all the fun stuff, and you don't have to worry about mana or health, right? So this pretty much solves your mana issues, at least you know at the beginning. I mean, that's when you need it the most, right? Later on you'll get some other stuff, but yeah. Now cast range as well. Cast range is the big one. There's like 4 spells that kind of benefit a lot from cast range. You know, probably the most one being Frost Shield, because you can immediately cast it on your ally. You don't have to get in the range or wait for them to get in your range. If they're kind of in trouble, you just get that extended range, so you can easily shield them with this, right? And later on, it's also gonna work for Glimmer Cape, 4 staff. It works on any item. It's just cast range on everything that you have, and you can cast, right? Spells, items, whatever it is. So that's why Netherlands, why 4 staff? Well, because of all of the skills here, you have everything, right? All you can imagine. The one thing that you usually don't have, as almost all supports, there's no leaps like Mirana's, there are no jumps, you don't play Blink. There's a big mobility issue here, because this is all great, but you still have to right click around. So if it gets tricky, you can get away with 4 staff, use it just to move around the map. If you're kind of far from the fight, you can quickly get there and cast all your stuff, you know, and use it on any allies that are trying to escape. You push them out of the dangerous way. Also, if you know the funny one, if any enemy hero is kind of facing you, so you have other lands, right, for extended cast range. If they kind of turn towards you for any reason, maybe to last hit, and you kind of close, you can easily just do something like this and almost do like a Vengeful Spirit swap. You know, push them in, because 4 staff pushes you in the direction which you're facing. So if they're facing kind of this, you can do something like that. Maybe catch somebody off guard that do not expect 4 staff to be used at all like that. It can actually work many times if you kind of position yourself, or maybe somebody baits for you know, you can get that going. So that's why 4 staff, but you know, the basic stuff, it just helps you move around the map, if anything. Now another item like that, Glimmer Cape, also pretty logical to make, saves you in terms of invisibility, but also if you know, again, anybody's running away, you can use Glimmer Cape on them, Force Staff on yourself. So it's not like I have to use it on somebody, so I'm gonna die, so I don't kind of want to use it. Am I gonna use it? You know, Glimmer Cape is kind of like another effect where it just really helps with that. So, you know, if you want to use Glimmer Cape on somebody that's running away and then push yourself with Force Staff or vice versa, however it is, it's a big help. It's also 50% magic resistance. So even if they kind of use the dust on them, cast a bunch of spells, it's gonna block a lot of damage. Anyways, right? So that's one way. There's also offensive way to use Glimmer Cape. You know, we can just use Tides. Let's say this is your off laner or, you know, carry, whoever it is. You can kind of cast this on them before they jump in the fight. So, you know, the effect is not like Shadow Blade. They can attack and cast spells. The effect is still gonna persist through all of that. Doesn't get cancelled. So it's kind of like a 5 seconds, 50% magic protection that you give to them before they jump in the fight, right? So they can, you know, keep fighting, and it's gonna protect them from a lot of spell damage. So as you can see, there's a lot of uses for all of these, and once you get all of these, it does take time, of course, and you're playing support, and of course the game might even end before you get all 3 of these. But that's kind of a really nice way to just round up Lich. Of course, the shard as well. But anything past that is a really great bonus if you can get any of these. So yeah, you would also be getting shard. Shard is pretty much it's a way where you kind of guarantee your ult will always, for example, your ult can always bounce off of this. It doesn't get destroyed. You can also cast armor on it. Something like Ogre Magi can cast Bloodlust on towers. You know, it works the same way. So if you just cast it like that and do the ult, it's gonna bounce infinitely until the hero dies or gets out of range or whatever it is, you know. So however bounces you have here, if they get away, that's when it stops. Usually it's just gonna go and go. It's also passive slow anyways, so even if you don't cast any on it, just this, it's a 30% slow, right? So that's shard. You can get shard whenever you see fit. Maybe sooner than later. How, you know, just take a look at the enemy team. Sometimes you really don't need this. Sometimes it's really good to get it, because you kind of keep catching them solo. You want to try to kill them. It's probably the best way. You'll probably do something like this, cast the ult and probably pull him. Pull is gonna be much longer, of course. It's just level 1, and this is kind of your main stuff when you cast ult, to keep somebody close until this keeps bouncing, you know. It's the best way to keep him occupied, get as many bounces as you can. So that's pretty much the whole thing with this. Some other items, there's always Aeon Disc. It's like a second life, right, as usual, great for support. So if you get jumped, you know, you're not being aware, you can't see the part, whatever happens, it gives you extra like 2.5 seconds to decide if you want to get out in Force Staff, if you want to use Glimmer Cape. It also always gives you almost always enough time to just unleash the ult. So even if you die, you kind of always can get this going, and at least one more spell. If you're lucky, 2 more spells, you know, if they're really on you. So it's just like a great tool to almost always guarantee that you can kind of unleash the Chain Frost, and if you die, it happens, you know, your support anyways. It's not that big of a deal. It can be, but, you know, it's still support. So that item for that, a nice buff to stats. Some other thing is Scepter. Scepter just kind of, just summon a bunch of Tides. Scepter just gives you hypnotize to all of them, and also while you're hypnotizing you can cast any spells, as you can see. So you can just cast any spell, something like Shard for Crystal Maiden, but this is for Lich, it's a Scepter, right? And gives you nice AoE pool. So if I get extra money, it's something I really like getting. Why? It's because mostly Chain Frost. I would, you know, they would not be this close, right? They would be spread a bit, but as you can see, it's a pretty nice range still. You can catch a lot, so I would just kind of do something like this and then pull all of them, and you would get like a guaranteed nice couple of hits, and when it does stop, they're still gonna be kind of close, so you can hit them with the Frost Blast, or, you know, anybody from your team is gonna do something else with one of their AoE spells, or maybe there's Bell of Fury. They can just, you know, cleave cleave all of them down after that. So something I really like getting on Lich. It's also a lot of money, and there's stuff that you always need to get before that, right? There's Force Staff is really needed. Of course, Elderlands is nice. It's, you do not really need to get this, but again, it helps you with the cast range, with the mana problems. Glimmer Cape as well. It's kind of like really important to get these, and I would argue also Aeon Disc, so it just kind of guarantees you to stay alive and be able to cast a couple of your spells before you go, you know, or maybe help your allies before you go, because, you know, all of this is nice, but there's no protection for you really. And then as you can see, I'm level 20. I got like barely over 2k. It's not, I'm not that fat on health at all. It's pretty low still, you know. If I play against Phantom Assassins, you can easily delete me with like a couple of crits. So, you know, it can be problematic just getting this and then hoping that you can pull everything without dying, you know. So Scepter would probably be something like your last item in this case. You know, depends. It just depends how much you can get away in the fights. As usual, if your team can control them better, or are they just playing all with blinks and blacking bars and whatnot, and you're getting constantly jumps, Scepter won't do that much for you. Then it's just better to go this first, right? And some other stuff, of course, there's always Ghost Scepter. Any nasty right clickers, like, right, I always use the Ursa's example because he got overpower and the passive, and he plays blink. That's the best example of a hero that can immediately blink on you and destroy you. Pretty much counts as one shot, right? He just does it very fast. So anything like that, Ghost Scepter is always nice. It can also be always upgraded into Ethereal Blade, so this becomes ranged. Again, same use, but now you can protect your allies as well if they get jumped by any physical type of damage heroes, right? It also can be cast on enemies for extra spell damage and disabling them. A lot of uses, right? And it's changed. Now it takes Kaya. It takes Kaya to make, so it's much more beneficial to you, right? This way, because you are a spellcaster. But yeah, another item that will take some money to upgrade, of course. And there's also Rod of Aethas. Rod of Aethas is just like another nice way to keep him rooted. He has a pretty big cast range if you get Elderlands, so just, you know, just another benefit of Elderlands. As you can see, it goes all the way there. So now, you know, you can kind of root anybody there, hit them with the Frost Blast, keep slowing them, with the Ice Spire, with the Sinister Gaze. It's a great tool for Lich. I can't say I would never make this. It just doesn't happen that often because, you know, again, I gotta have some basics in a form of this. But yeah, if you have time, if you can get away with making this earlier, just make it. It's another great way to crowd control, right? And then as usual, something big like Sight is always an option if you want to get that. You know, Hex is always Hex. You do not benefit much from Mystic Staff or from Voidstone. It just costs a bunch of money you gotta waste. The only benefit for you is Ultimate Orb in terms of health, some agility, of course, that's it. But you gotta pay a lot to get the ND effect. ND effect is great, but yeah, it's a very long way, and you just do not benefit from 3-point-something K gold items in gold, right? They can be useless for you. So keep in mind that, and yeah, I forgot to mention the one they always get, the Yule Scepter, right? The usual stuff with this disables any hero that has a channeling spell, Witch Doctor, Crystal Maiden, immediately cancels them. You'll have extra attack cast range because of Elderlands. Legion Commander, if you somebody, Troll Warlord, Pudge. If they do their ults, it's a great way. If anybody silences you, if anybody casts a stun on you, that kind of takes time to travel. You know, Sven cast Night, you can block it with this. You know, the good old stuff for Yule Scepter is just, and it's also just another way to kind of disrupt them and maybe get like a couple of your friendly heroes out, right, with Force Staff and Glimmer Cape. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's no funny combos with this, like with some heroes, like Alina or Lashrak, you know, where you kind of lift them up and then you wait on the ground with like a stun type of spell. But yeah, there's still a bunch of stuff that kind of works like that, you know. You can say Sinister Gaze is pretty much your stun. No big difference, right? Even the duration is kind of similar. So yeah, also keep that item in mind. It can be great depending on what the situation is, right? It can really ruin some people's day. You know, if you even even if you played Ghost Scepter combined with this, that would also be amazing, right? Like probably one of the best examples is like somebody like Draw Ranger attacks you, silences you, and you don't want to waste immediately this one, because you know there's also a pushback that kind of wastes a couple of seconds of your protection. Maybe you just kind of want to do this and immediately break the silence, and then once you come on the ground, you can use Ghost Scepter. You know, it's gonna be Ghost Scepter if I can find it. So yeah, a bunch of options you can pick and choose. These are, again, I would say, are just kind of must-have, and then you know, see what you want to go next. Pretty much, it's gonna depend on the enemy team, on your team, how comfortable you feel in the fight. Are you dying too much? Maybe you don't play Lich that often, so you know, some items that can help you just add a couple of layers of security for yourself as well. And yeah, that would be it. Considering items, talent tree now. I just take the Frost Blast, radius, and damage. 10% I think is not that much. I kind of like this more. This also doesn't save you from spell damage. Maybe it was also like spell damage protection chucked in. It will be a kind of equal option, but usually just the left one. Second, I would say kind of choose on this. Frost Blast puts it on 4 seconds. It becomes really fast. It's AoE, it's upgraded AoE, plus the damage, so you know, kind of comboing these two can be really deadly for them. 4 seconds to cast it. This is also nice, and this becomes even stronger if you go for something like Scepter, because now it's plus 0.5 for everybody you can catch with your Scepter. So, but I would usually say this is immediate value, and you don't have to worry about much, right? Third one is also kind of tricky. Chain Frost, that's putting everything in your ult. Ult is already like 550. Getting to 650, I don't think it's that big of a difference. I'd rather take Frost Shield. 4 seconds is a lot. It's a great way to just, you know, cast it. Somebody's gonna jump in the fight, especially like your carry. You do want that to last as long as you can, so this one I just go Frost Shield, and the last one I just usually take unlimited bounces. It's kind of risky one, yeah, it can backfire a lot, but the bounces keep going no matter what, and usually there kind of creates even there's even like one mob, it's gonna keep the chain going. I can do the whole, you know, rotation, jumping into mobs, and then if somehow enemy hero is still there, it's gonna keep jumping on them. It's kind of a way to maybe further ensure the bounces will keep going no matter what. But the right one is really also tempting a lot. Plus 50 HP regeneration. It's kind of like Mars's arena upgrade, where you get the passive HP if you roll in the arena. So this one is also amazing. I kind of, again, I'll have to see how the fights go. Taking unlimited bounces on this, if the whole enemy team is something like, you know, if there's Mirana, Void Spirit, some nasty offlaner with a blink, you know, support with something like 4 staffs, and this, it may really be useless to take this, because you may not just want to hit anybody, depending on your team. If your team can kind of keep them together and controlled, your ult may just hit them like once or twice and be completely ignored. You know, that there's a problem, you can easily get rid of that. So again, depends on the enemy team, on your team, how much you can control, and how much they can escape really, and what items they made up until level 25. You never know, maybe they didn't start so crazy, but they made something like this, you know, some crazy stuff, and your ult just can't reach them properly. And this is a very strong one, so can't go wrong with either. But yeah, that's pretty much Lich. I don't think there's anything funny left to add, considering these. That's kind of all the tips I think I have. yeah, there's nothing really crazy you can do with Lich other than what I said. So yeah, that's gonna be it for him, and I'll see you guys on the next one.